Hello and welcome to the Sketching Greyhound. Today we are drawing a person from one of my favorite movies in the world. And I thought, why don't I take this opportunity and tell you why I love that movie so much? And if you should watch it, but it's a very special movie, so you have to decide that for yourself. I will try to give you all the information you need for that. And let's get started with Scott Pilgrim. So where to begin with Scott Pilgrim? It is really a weird movie, and if you don't know what you're in for if you decide to watch it, it's I think difficult to enjoy. So it has an extremely good cast, and a lot of them had already or would eventually play a superhero role. You have Cera, Kieran Culkin, Chris Evans, Brandon Routh, Brie Larson, and Anna Kendrick. What's not to love there? Sounds amazing from the get-go. But if you are expecting an Oscar movie or something, or a normal movie, you're in for a surprise. Scott Pilgrim is very gamey, not in the sense that you think now. It is like a computer game. It is like a comic, and that has a reason. There is an original. The movie is not the original, and the original is a comic book. And it is frightening how similar they are in places. I mean, look at the sequence, how close it is to the comic book. It has, down to the same font, it is extremely close to it. So, yes, there are scenes that are missing in the movie that are in the comic book, but you can't get much closer than this. I'm showing you the colored version of the comic. The original is actually black and white. But this is something that I find immensely fascinating. You have a movie that is based on a comic book that is extremely close to that, but also it incorporates just so many other influences and techniques, also from games, for example, and it is extremely flashy. The music fits perfectly. So it does not just stick to the movie, to the comic, and shows you more or less the same picture. It adds a lot to the experience, and yes, it's a bit of an overload for your senses, but it is so reverent to the source material. Well, the comic book creator was heavily also, even in the casting, he was involved in the movie, so... but still, it is really reverent to the source material, but it expands it in a lot of ways, and it works phenomenally. Strangely enough, it was quite the box office bomb, and it did not even raise the money, the budget of it. I'm not really sure why. It was critically very acclaimed. There is a cult following. It is one of those mysteries. And unfortunately, because I'm not sure if we have received anything like this since then again. And I'm not sure that big movie companies will risk this kind of a movie again so soon. So if you know a movie that is quite like Scott Pilgrim, let me know. I would love to check it out. Kick-Ass is a little bit like Scott Pilgrim, much more gore in that one. Scott Pilgrim, yes, you have punching people and stuff, but it is kinda tame in comparison to Kick-Ass, but it is also much more over the top. There are a lot of fun anecdotes surrounding the movie, just like, for example, that the ending of the film was filmed before the comic was actually finished, but also test audience did not like the movie ending that much, so they reworked it and brought it closer again to the comics. But details like the costume of Envy Adams in the movie was then actually reflected in the ending of the comic, influenced it in the other way around. So you see, I find it quite fascinating how intertwined the process is here. There are a million other stories about this or things that are interesting with this movie. But this is not an analysis, this is a way that I want to give you some information to decide for yourself if this could be something for you while you see a pretty picture being painted in the background. So I think we have that amount of information here, and if you think this might be something for you, go check it out. I would heavily recommend to, even if it turns out to not be directly your style. This is something special, it is different, and I think it is also art. Different kind of movie art than The Hours, for example. More heavy-handed movies. This is very light-hearted, but it is definitely art. So if you go and check it out, let me know in the comments what you thought about it. If you have already seen it, do the same. Let me know if you enjoyed it or if it just was not for you, which is completely valid. Looking at our Scott Pilgrim here in the background, I select this picture because his facial expression represents for me how he goes through this movie. Always a little bit confused, not really knowing where it is going, but still being ready and going with the flow. Yeah, so I found it quite fascinating and interesting. I went again with gray and black and white pencils because you have also quite bright here, the halo around the hair and so on. I was already imagining that with the white pencil and looking forward to drawing that, so that was for me a no-brainer. Yeah, you see, it was fortunately one of the portraits where the complete process I did not hate it. Normally, most of my portraits I either in the beginning think, oh, this is terrible, and then it ends out pretty okay. And then there are the ones where I think in the beginning, oh, this is going really smoothly, and then something goes horribly wrong. And the rest of the time I'm completely struggling to try and fix it. Fortunately, the complete catastrophes are pretty rare, so I have to scrap not that many pictures. But this one turned out, I like it. I like the highlights. I think it works well on the gray paper. I think this represents what I think about the movie. It is kinda flashy, it is goofy, and it is fun. So I hope you like it too. That is what I can tell you about the picture. And there you have him, ladies and gentlemen, Scott Pilgrim, one of my all-time favorites. I had a lot of fun creating this, and I'm really happy that it turned out to be one of those pictures which I actually enjoy myself. I hope you enjoy it too. Let me know in the comments. Let me also know what you think about the movie. And perhaps if there is another movie you think I should take a look at. Anyway, as I said, I had fun, I hope you too. I would love to see you in one of the upcoming videos. Thank you very much for spending time with me. See you next time. Goodbye.